Bonjour and welcome to French Action. If you are preparing for the French exam DELF A1, this video is definitely for you. We will focus on the second part of the oral section. Vous êtes prêts? C'est parti! The oral has three parts. In part 1, the examiner asks the candidate questions. Then in part 2, the candidate asks the examiner questions. And in the final part, the examiner and the candidate take part in a role play. So today we will deal with part 2. On the day, you will be presented with pieces of paper and you will need to draw 6 of them. Each piece of paper will have a word on it, and you will need to ask the examiner a question based on that word. However, if you are not sure as to how to ask questions in French, I would advise you to watch this video, which will explain how to ask questions in French. Imagine that you have these 6 pieces of paper in your hand. Now you need to discover each word. Here is an example. Word number 1, maison. Word number 2, chien. Word number 3, vacances. Word number 4, ordinateur. Word number 5, voyager. And word number 6, décembre. Now what you need to do is to come up with 6 questions which you will ask the examiner. So, what questions could you ask him or her? Think about it. Do you remember the first word? The first word was maison, which is house. So you could actually ask simple questions starting with est-ce que. For example, est-ce que vous avez une maison? Do you have a house? And remember, all questions starting with est-ce que require a yes or a no answer. You could also ask, est-ce que vous habitez dans une maison? Do you live in a house? Or, you could ask, quelle est la couleur de votre maison? What is the color of your house? Do you remember the word which was on the paper? Yes, it is chien. So here again, we could ask the same kind of question with est-ce que. Est-ce que vous avez un chien? Est-ce que vous habitez avec un chien? Do you have a dog? Do you live with a dog? Do you remember the word which was on the green card? Yes, it was vacances, holiday or vacation. So what could you ask? You could ask a question starting with où. Où allez-vous en vacances? Where do you go on holiday? You could have quand partez-vous en vacances? When do you leave for your holiday? Or you could have a question starting with what? Qu'est-ce que vous aimez faire pendant les vacances? What do you like doing during your holiday? So, do you remember the word on the orange card? Yes, it was ordinateur, which is computer. So what could you ask? You could ask, for example, the question, est-ce que vous avez besoin d'un ordinateur pour votre travail? To need, you need to remember, you need, vous avez besoin de. Je répète, est-ce que vous avez besoin d'un ordinateur pour votre travail? Otherwise, you could just ask this simple question, quelle est la marque de votre ordinateur? What is the make of your computer? So, what is the next word? Do you remember? It's voyager, and voyager, it's a verb. So here we're going to have a question starting with est-ce que, but we're going to say, est-ce que vous voyagez souvent? Do you often travel? Or you could ask, est-ce que vous voyagez seul? Do you know what that means? It means, do you travel on your own? And the last word is December. So for December, we could ask something like, qu'est-ce que vous faites en décembre? What do you do in December? A question starting with qu'est-ce que. Or we could have est-ce que. Est-ce que vous aimez le mois de décembre? Do you like the month of December? Here's a recap. So you can think of 3 types of question. One starting with est-ce que. So you could say est-ce que vous avez, est-ce que vous aimez. So you know that each time you use est-ce que is because the answer is going to be a yes or a no. Est-ce que vous avez? Do you have? Est-ce que vous aimez? Do you like? The second type could be qu'est-ce que. Qu'est-ce que means what. Qu'est-ce que vous faites? What do you do? And the last type is the one which translates into what is and or what are. So for example, quel est votre numéro de téléphone? We're going to have quel, Q-U-E-L, because numéro de téléphone is masculine. Then now if we have a feminine word, we will have quel, same pronunciation but with double L-E. Quelle est votre adresse? What is your address? Assuming that the word you have is adresse. Then you can have the same words but with an S and the pronunciation will remain quel. Quels sont vos loisirs? What are your hobbies? And then the last one with the feminine plural. Quelles sont vos activités préférées? What are your favorite activities? Let's practice. Here are 6 new words: voiture, livre, travailler, couleur, argent, nationalité. So what are your 6 questions? So here are my 6 questions. Avez-vous une voiture? Do you have a car? For livre, est-ce que vous lisez un livre en ce moment? Are you reading a book at the moment? Où travaillez-vous? Where do you work? Quelle est votre couleur préférée? What's your favorite color? Est-ce que vous voulez avoir beaucoup d'argent? Do you want to have a lot of money? And my last question, quelle est votre nationalité? I hope you found this video helpful, and if you have, please like it, and I see you in the next one. Au revoir!